Good morning, everybody. Sunday morning, Sunday with Spirit. Danny Shay, Sunday with Spirit. Thank you all for joining. To my new people who are just checking into Sunday with Spirit, this is not a political tarot card reading at all. It's not even a tarot card reading. It's more of an oracle pull, trying to tap into spirit, see what we can learn, just have a little spirituality for this Sunday. So it's going to be shorter than going to church. There's no standing, kneeling, sitting. It's just one position fits all. Feel free to interpret these cards any way you want. It's up to you. It's your Sunday with Spirit as well. And since I said this is no political reading, isn't it great that Trump is gone and Biden is in? I went and took a drive. I did not turn on the news. I did not want to. Well, I did want to. Should I check? But I didn't really feel the need, so I didn't. I didn't listen to the news. It's awesome. Awesome. Anyway, this last week, I had been talking and thinking about my imaginary friend when I was 6 years old, 8 years old or something. And it occurred to me that this imaginary friend said, I gotta go now. So we're not going to be as visible as we once were, but I will always, always be around you. And this subscriber mentioned that same thing, and that triggered my thought. And I went, oh my gosh, mine said very much the same thing. Maybe not in those exact words, but, and I'm going, and am I imagining that? Is this for real? So let's look into this imaginary friend type. Who is it? What is it? What does it mean? How do we tap into it? So, Good Tarot, Enchanted Map, Mystical Shaman deck. Okay, bonus card that got mixed up into this. So, with Sunday with Spirit, I thought that let's throw a compassion card out there. And the compassion card is, don't talk about your injured limbs. Go, okay. Don't try to build yourself up by talking about other people's defects. But I thought about this with injured limbs when I was a little kid. I'd always be getting scrapes and cuts, and you'd go up and climb up on a tree and fall out of the tree, hit all these branches on the way down, and you didn't really talk about your hurts. It's like, no, I'm strong. I can do it. A little, I'm strong. And yet, even though we are strong, sometimes that it really hurts. And sometimes you do need to talk about your injured limbs. But don't build yourself up by tearing other people down. I like that one too. All right, let's look at the Good Tarot. The Hermit. Whoa. Bonus. Empress and Messenger of Air. And the Page of Fire. So what is this imaginary friend? I mean, and it's not so much that I want to ask that. It's what we believe it could be. Is it an angel? Is it a spirit? Is our guides? I think it is. And then it got shut away behind these big doors. You're too old to have imaginary friends. Okay. You can't be in business, right? Except if you're Elon Musk, and then he hears things from He hears voices and he acts on them. But, it's changing. When I grew up, you had to be very rigid. You had to be businesslike. You had to think things out through, and you couldn't have imaginary friends. It had to be logical. So we locked up our imaginary friends. And we have the Empress reversed in the Messenger of Air. The Empress reversed, when I looked at it and I said reversed, I go, oh, so is that the Emperor? No, it's the Empress reversed. It's giving birth to something. It's digging your hands into the earth and feeling the earth and creating from the earth. And then you have the Messenger of Air, your imaginary friend. So as we're digging in with earth, there's something missing because the Empress is reversed, and it's the Messenger of Air. It's the higher power that we don't necessarily acknowledge because you're getting too old for imaginary friends. Now this is not the traditional meaning of this Empress card, right? But it's what I'm getting here. And then we have the Page of Fire, which is, to me, this is all about passions and new sparks and new ideas coming out of unexpected places. And if you look at this, look at the strength of the tiger in there. The strength of that tiger, the strength of your imagination, the strength of our dreams coming from unexpected places, coming from the Messenger of Air. I think it's cool. I mean, we lock them away and we have to somehow bring them out. Now, we can call them anything we want. I'm going to call my imaginary friend Bob. I do want to find out his name. I do want to try to remember it and go back and try to dig into it. So here's an action thing with this enchanted map. And whether these are actions, or, it's just kind of a guide. Ghostlands. Wow. That is very similar. Sorry for the shadows, the glare. That is very similar to the Hermit. Ghostlands, locking things away. Let's see if I can drop that glare out. Okay, does that make it better? Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so you got Ghostlands here. And I just think that it's being locked away, whatever it is, whatever our imaginary friends, our guides, the people that walk with us side by side when we're a little kid. They're not there. They're locked away in Ghostlands. But we have Spirit of Place. So what is the spirit of place? Looks like it's in nature, the spirit of place, and here we have nature again. So we can find it in nature. Some people go out into the woods and they say, oh, I see fairies in the woods. I think it's big in Ireland. And then the bonus card is the Jaguar. And that's in medicine position, meaning reversed. So interesting that you have a tiger here, and he's king of his area, forest. The Jaguar is king of the jungle. It's the master of the jungle, the top predator in the jungle. And so it feels like it's not about, physical strength and cunning and trying to figure it out. It's more about just accepting. That's what I'm getting. Just this spirit of place. Yes, and into the unknown. That's how you find it. You go into the unknown a little bit. The last row is the mystical shaman. And I use this just as a touching base with spirit again to see anything else you want to share with us. Time Master in medicine position. The Tree of Life in medicine position. And the corn. So with these three cards, the Time Master to me tells me that we look at things so literally in a linear fashion, or circular, if you look at the hands of a clock. Do y'all know what hands of the clock are? A lot of the newer, the younger people, it's all digital. I don't know how to tell time on a clock. I'm sure that's not true. But I mean, some people don't even know what film is, or they've never used film, and that told me I'm really getting old. I'm as old as that Time Master. But it's in medicine position, so this says that just let go of time as you know it, as you think of it, when we're dealing with our imaginary friends. You don't have to be a kid to have an imaginary friend and have it be an angel and speak to you and have a relationship with it. And the second card is the Tree of Life in medicine position. And when I first looked at this, I thought it was right side up. I thought the tree was right side up. I thought these were the roots and this was the leaves floating around. So it's whatever the Tree of Life is, for you, being in medicine position, it feels like that if you have your page of fire, your spirit of place, when you go into the unknown, you can turn this Tree of Life right side up. But right now, without spiritual practice, without respect and honor for it, I think you're in Ghostlands. And it doesn't have to be, 12 hours of church or 2 hours of church. I don't know why I said 12. And we'll have abundance with the corn. This is non-GMO corn, by the way. It's very rare. But we'll have a good harvest. We'll have sustenance. We'll have things coming to us. So, to me, what I'm feeling with this invisible friend that some of us got to experience when we were growing up, it was comforting as the Empress could be. It was about the Tree of Life. And when it gets shut away with the Hermit, because you're too old, and we go into Ghostlands, I feel like we're missing out on something. So in order to turn these cards around, Look into the messenger of air, the page of fire, spirit of place. Just get quiet and get into the unknown and bring it back into our lives. As long as it's in positive mode, as long as it's in love for the good of all, I think then we're on the right path. And as long as it doesn't give us any injured limbs. All right. I just wanted to touch on that. I'm not sure if it made a lot of sense or anything. To me it did, but I think talking to Spirit, to God, to Jesus, to Allah, to whoever you talk to is super important. And we get pulled away from it with our current climate, and we're all focused on this injury that we're dealing with. There's a lot of defects in this world, and we start talking about them to try to build ourselves up. And I think it's going back to talk to, this messenger in this page to bring a spark in truth. Okay, that's it. So thank you all for joining. Thank you. That's it. Peace and love.